I realized it halfway through, but I didn't want that thing to interrupt you. Really, really good. You can put your whole body into this. The fact that it's in Bhutto doesn't mean that it's not energetic. It is really energetic. You can be as dramatic as you wish. You can go much further. We did that in one piece last year, where I asked you guys to go wild, and then we ended up using all that material. So your body can do more and still stay in Bhutto and still stay in the discipline. All right, let me cue up the beginning. Does anybody want to ask a question, or I'll still give you the cues, but they're very clear cues. I think once we've done it a few times, you won't have any problem identifying them. That's if I can get them set up properly. Okay, the keening has just stopped, and we're going to go into group 1. The rest of you will be in chairs along a line behind the stage area, like we've been doing for a lot of things. And you'll get up when it's your time and come to the front. Group 1, the search. Starting now. Finding the living and finding the dead are both very fraught acts. And you're in the forefront until that low note comes in, at which time group 2 comes in right away. Good. Good. Don't get out of Bhutto though. There's the low note. Group 2 comes forward. Group 1 continues but moves back. Group 2 is taking the wounded across, caring for them. Supporting them. Your face can change expression too, guys. And the end of this section will be that higher theme that comes in. There it is. Group 3 comes in, group 2 moves back while group 1 is. And the man with the red bandana leads people across. We'll figure out who leads when we get in this phase. That journey down floor after floor after floor. For the end of this one is a drum roll. Good, put your whole body into it. Yes. Good. Facial expressions. And make your own narrative. a lot of time for this one because I want you to lead each other across. Okay, the drum roll for the fourth, which is Charles and Gerald, and the decision to stay together and die together. Everyone else is dancing in the background. Same themes, but muted. Okay, now everybody will dance full out, and you can move across the stage. So the searchers may move into the people helping the wounded. The people being led out may bump into, not literally, the people who are searching. Charles and Gerald are probably more static than the rest of you. Good. Okay, that worked remarkably well. I think that's going to be very, very good. The people who are not here tonight, we will plug in when we're in the space. So to put that in context, let's take it from the beginning and then go through the second part. Let me take it after the holy, holy, holy. Okay, in actuality, this is the beginning of the dance. You're all on stage, but you are waking up on the day of the attack, a mundane, ordinary day. And you're spreading out during this period so that you occupy the entire stage. You have about 3 minutes to slowly dance your way out, being mindful of where other people are so that you really do occupy the whole stage. Good. Good. Excellent. You might meet each other on the stage. You might say good morning or have a conversation. You might dance together briefly and then move on. Let your whole body bend and move. Let your whole body participate in getting up in the morning, having your breakfast, going to work. Good. Yes, Charles, good. Good. You have plenty of time to really spread out. Good. Facial expressions. People will be getting accustomed to you in your costume at this point. You're listening for the music to have a faster beat. There it goes. The tension goes into your body. You don't look up because there are no planes yet. You don't know what's going on, but you become alert. That's it. You can look around. And you're still dancing spread across the stage until the first plane comes. When the first plane comes, you have 30 seconds to stay in Buto but move close together. Beautiful. Now you look up. And you dance together. You move yourself into the center of the stage together to make a cluster to actually touch. By the time the second plane comes, you're in contact improv. You're moving as one body together. There it is. Now the horror. Very good. And the keening. Well done. Now you wait for the sound to begin, and then group one will step forward and start searching. So the searching is a direct consequence of the keening.
Excuse me, Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we exhausted at that point, or am I ahead of it?
That's after. That's after.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, good question. Okay, so the searchers are now searching. And the rest of us are still in grief, but sitting on chairs. So after the keening, you'll move back to the chairs, and then each group will come forward. Good. Searching in the ashes. And then move back, and the wounded and the caring for the wounded begins. The searchers are still finding people living and dead. Oh, this is really getting good, guys. Use your whole body to lift someone else, to help them move, to get them to some kind of healing. the searchers are still searching. And now the group 2 moves back, group 3 comes forward. The man with the red bandana leads people down as many as 60 stories. Now, the caring for the wounded is still going on, and the searching is still going on. For the fourth one will be a drum roll. Don't let go of what you're doing. Don't let it go out of your body. That means the energy continues to flow through every breath. Admiral Charles and Gerald will come forward. I think this is one of the most beautiful stories of friendship I've ever seen. The other drum roll, now everyone is dancing fully in what you're supposed to be doing, but you're mingling. It's like the end of the doors. You're continuing to do what you do, but you're coming in contact with the other people who are doing what they do. So we have full dance filling the stage. Next thing that will happen is the lift. You'll hear the flute theme that calls you all together. Beautiful. During all this, when you're dancing together, you tend to gravitate from the edges toward the center so that you can move close to the center when you get the truth for the lift. Let your breathing move with you. You're gathering in together, you're magnetized By the triumph of the human spirit, you have been dancing. And we begin to honor that by lifting one of us and following her. Yes. Good one. And you can slowly descend, slowly. Bring yourself all the way back to normal. And this is where the exhaustion sets in, the emptiness after all this. Oh, very good, folks. And you can stay in that limp place for a moment. And in your own time, thinking about it, come back to the point where you can look at another person. And then eventually where you can look at people you don't know and then go out into them. It takes time. Yeah, your eyes will come into focus as you begin to accept that instead of revenge, you will connect again. And then you can look at each other, the dancers yourselves, slowly, and make an exchange. You hear, I don't know if you can hear it, but the beat has started again. And you can, at that point, begin to look out into the audience and make eye contact. These are the strangers, and you're going to walk into them without any shield at all. So when you're ready, you will slowly move off the stage with nothing but love in your heart and connect with them. You may just look at someone, you may touch them. Two people may reach for you at the same time and you can connect them. Someone may get up and dance with you. Never leaving Bucho. The energy moving in slow motion in your body. Don't dance. That's it. Whoa. Oh, that's beautiful, Gerald. Wow. Lovely, you guys. Wow, it does work on you. You use your eyes, your heart, your hands. There it is. Yep. Great progress. Beautiful. And what you're listening for is the rhythm to drop out, tell you it's time to come back slowly to the stage. You'd be amazed at what happens in some of these ones. Okay, that's your signal that it's time to slowly go back. But bring your audience with you and go back with them, looking over your shoulder at them, and put your arm out to them as you go back. Take them with you. About now, I would like you to be lining up in front again, slowly. Turning to look at everyone. Perfect, Tony. And bowing. So that's the shape of the whole thing, guys. That should make the second part a little bit more germane. It feels during the last part of part 2 as though it goes on forever. But if you're all truly dancing in your story, and if you think about the story to enrich it, it's going to be very, very, very beautiful to see all these things happening at the same time, the search, the caring for people, bringing people out, all the things that you're doing, the sacrifices, and then the lift. That will all make complete sense. We had a performance in St. Paul's a few years ago in which I made sure that every part of this was explained thoroughly so that everybody knew what was going on in parts 1, 2, and 3, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. At the end, people rushed up to tell us how much they loved it, and they recapped it and told us which parts really moved them. When it was all over and everybody had left, I looked, not one single program had been given out. Not one. They got it. They got it anyway. but I almost fell over in a dead faint at that point. Whoever was supposed to hand out the programs didn't hand out a one, probably didn't even show up. And all those guys got it. They got it without a single word being spoken. So it works. This really does work. And you guys are dancing beautifully. This is really gorgeous. Any questions? And then what I'm going to do is ask the people who are in the smaller group to stay just a little bit longer so we can go through part 2 for that group, which is quite different. Any questions or comments or suggestions? You guys rock. It's really, really, really good. You're going to enjoy looking at the video, I think.
Marilyn?
Yeah.
What is the cue for us to return, leaving the audience?
There's a beat that goes on dun 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 dun, and the beat stops, and all you have is the high part. Let me find it for you. It's really clear, unless you get so caught up in what you're doing that you don't listen to it. Hang on. It's still moving out in the audience here. Here's a beat. Okay. There it is. All you're left with is the beat. The rest of it just drops out. And by the way, that beat is the same one we come in with. It's the same one at the base of all of it. And it is the beat of the human heart. The Kodo drummers of Japan found out a long time ago that if you set down that beat, the audience hearts will beat exactly with the performers. And immediately you have a connection. So we deliberately did that. I don't think you'll have trouble finding it, but if you should find yourself still in the audience when everybody is moving up on the stage and you look up and go, oh, I'm supposed to be up there, just dance your way back. It has happened in the past, and I expect it to happen in the future. It's just nice if we can all be back at the same time. It's not crucial. Anything else?
Yep, I have a question.
Yep.
So there's a silence after the second plane goes over, and between that and then the keening, are we to be motionless during that silence?
Believe me, you will do it by feel. What happens is you are so like this that you find yourself taking a breath, and then the keening starts. The sound will move you. We're leaving the recording of the previous keening on there to give you a space so that you don't have to do it ad lib, which is what we did in the past. We didn't leave it on the recording, but this time we will.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a moment of horror before the keening really starts.
Yeah. That's what I want to do is remain motionless while I'm standing in disbelief and horror.
Yeah, you'll find that it comes naturally, that you don't really have to think that one. Anything else, guys? Okay, you were splendid, 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 and splendid, and I think it's shaping well. I was saying before some of you arrived tonight, I think this way of preparing it works, but I'm not going to do it again because it's too easy for people not to come. So when you have live rehearsals, in-person rehearsals, people are much less willing to skip it than on Zoom. But I think the Zoom actually works for learning the cues and embodying the story. It's too bad, but I don't I don't think, we'll see what happens with the rest of it. But do you feel that, I mean, we'll know when we get together live how this worked, but I really feel that it's going to make the time we rehearse in person very fruitful in terms of the investment of emotion and the deepening of the piece. I don't think you're going to have to think it so much as you would if we did all in-person rehearsals. You can tell me whether you feel that that worked or not. This is all new ground. People are not doing this. But because it's summertime and everybody is in one direction or another, this seemed to be the best way to try to make it possible for everybody to rehearse. Okay. Okay, can I just have the smaller group now, just for a few moments? I promise I won't go crazy over.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Oh,
Bye.
thank you. You guys are marvelous.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to be the best we've ever done. I really think so, and that's saying something.
I know.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, my pleasure. You guys are wonderful. Let me find the music for the smaller group. I have an explanation for you, by the way. I know the music for the shorter thing is somewhat abrupt, especially going into part 2. And here's the reason. Not only, hang on one second. Oops. Not only did I have to cut it, but I had to cut it myself, because in August, Trinity is a wasteland and everybody else is somewhere else. So I had to find ways I could edit it without making it sound edited. I didn't have sophisticated recording equipment to merge things. And even though it sounds as though it would be really easy to cut together because it's all rhythmic, there's a sustained sound that goes through it. So if you don't cut it in one of the very few places where that disappears, it goes, so we couldn't do it. I cut it in half. It's 15 minutes for Athens and 28 minutes, I think, for St. Paul's. A couple of you have asked me what's going on with Athens. The answer is I don't know. Carla is doing this, and Carla is killing herself getting this thing organized. I know that we have paid the registration fees, which were not small, and I know she has reserved hotel space. I also know that Trinity can be very, very slow, and that she is not happy with some of what she's meeting. But as far as I know, everything is still go, and we will continue as if it's still go until we hear otherwise. I have never seen Carla not move mountains, so I'm not worrying about it. She's the most amazing woman I've ever met. And that's what I know about it. And when I know more, I will tell you. Okay? All right. I certainly don't want to cancel it. This is really, and Trinity is very excited about it because it's the first time UNESCO has ever invited any group to perform at an event. And that's big. So I'm thinking that everything should end up like the fairy tale, but I don't know, guys. Okay? Best I can do. All right, when we do the music for this, we went through it last time. I've found another way, I think, to cue this in for part 2. Let me show you what I think will work, and you tell me if you think it will work. Okay, everything has this double beat. So this would be the search part. It's only about 15, 20 seconds, and it's 9 of these double beats. So if you want to, you could count it or you could feel it. And then the wounded are 8 double beats, and you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the man with the bandana is 8 double beats. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the friends who stayed together, 7 double beats. Yeah, I started with 30. But it gives you all a little bit under a minute, and it gives us a way to even it out. This is the only part I really had to crop heavily, but I didn't want to take out the lift because that's kind of the payoff of this part. So let's try it. Now, Gerald's suggestion last time that we break into 2 groups instead of 4, I thought was a really good suggestion. So Gerald, you wanted the first 2, right?
Sure.
Okay. Is there someone else who wants to dance the first 2 with Gerald? That means the search and the care of the wounded, Megan?
I think I was good.
Okay, but there are 6 of you. You can have 3 on each. 3 on each pair. So it'll be Gina, Megan, and Gerald in parts 1 and 2, and the other 3 guys in parts 3 and 4. And parts 3 and 4 are the man with the bandana and the 2 friends. But we'll enact the 2 friends just as an action of friendship. It doesn't have to just be 2. So let's try it and see. There are no landmarks like there are in the other one, a drum roll or something to cue you. It's just a matter of how many beats. And if it is not right, it doesn't matter because you will be moving from one to another. And if the lift part comes in sooner than you expect, you can just move into the lift. Okay?
So
It's-
when we were in the group, after we finished our parts, we moved back and still did it a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, you can. It's so short that it will be minimal.
Okay, so we can do our part and then sort of do it smaller?
Yeah, just the same way as you would do with the other one, but the scale is so small. The whole thing is just a little over a minute for part 2 on this one. All right, let's try it. Let me see if I can get this all lined up. I did this about 87 times today. Here we go. Group 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Group 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Group 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Group 4, 5, 7, 8. And now you would draw together. And you have this empty moment. And part 3 is exactly what we just danced. I didn't cut anything. I think that'll work, don't you? It's quick, but I think it will work. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock and I'm not going to keep you extra time, but next time we'll go through the whole shortened one so that you have the context for the whole thing. That, if you don't mind, I don't like counting in general, but I think in this case, it's kind of comforting. Yeah. Everybody okay with that? Oh, good. Okay. I love you. You are wonderful. There's some beautiful, beautiful moments tonight. I will get it up on YouTube as fast as I can. Mwah.
Thank
Take
you.
care, guys.
Good night.
Night.
I love you.